Good morning. It's Thursday, August 24th. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Up to the Minute. I'm Sade Campbell, the Enrollment Communications Manager here at Houston Community College. Pleased to be joined by my communications counterpart, partner in crime, and co-host today, Dr. Lana Pagayo, who's the Northwest College Communications Director. Good morning, Lana.
Good morning. How are you? Happy welcome week. First
Yes.
semester.
And you're on campus, you're feeling the energy, you're feeling the buzz.
We are busy.
Go ahead.
We are busy. Yeah. Well, let me tell you all how to find us. We're live on the Houston Community College District Facebook page, not HCC, and YouTube. We're also on X, formerly known as Twitter, LinkedIn, and on HCCTV at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
All right. Well, today is Thursday, and as always, it's Family Fun Day here on the show. We'll visit some historic homes in Richmond with our guest, Alicia Acosta, who is the site director for the Fort Bend Museum. Welcome to the show, Alicia.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Awesome. You and Lana are going to have a good conversation about these historic sites that are right around the corner for me. So I'm excited about that. But first, we're going to kick off with one of our student life coordinators who's going to talk about how busy she is during Welcome Week and all year with the year-round programming, making our student experience the best it could be. Welcome to the show, Ashley Rhodes, who's a student life coordinator at HCC Northeast.
Hello, everybody. How you doing?
Good morning, Ashley. You have been on the show quite often and happy to kick off Welcome Week with you this year.
I am excited to be here. I'm just so excited to talk about all the amazing things that we have going on for our students. We are revving up. This is kind of our really first year out of COVID being on campus and actually having all programming, on campus. And so students are excited to see us. They're excited to be a part. They're excited to join our organization. So it's been an amazing week so far.
Yeah, I don't know. I think students are surprised when they walk in and see everything that you all have planned. This year's theme, you all take on a different theme every year. This year's theme is Swooping into Fall. And for those of you who don't know, Swoop is our mascot. And going along with that theme, I think this is probably the perfect time for students to learn all about what they can expect out of student life. But for those who may not expect it at a community college, what can they expect this year?
So this year, as you stated before, many students don't expect to have the full college experience at a 2-year institution. However, we have everything. We have civic engagement. We have social programs. We have cultural programs. So this year, we are expecting a really big bang. We have guest speakers who are coming for drug and alcohol awareness, breast cancer awareness, as well as Hispanic Heritage Month. They can expect to be on campus engaged. And what we're trying to do is actually bring that learning outside of the classroom. Many times everyone says, oh, it's extracurricular. No, we like to call it co-curricular. We want to make sure that we are in line with our academic mission. We're just bringing the learning outside of the classroom, giving it a little color, giving it a little bit of engagement. So this is what they can expect from student life.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So much happens inside of the classroom, but so much happens outside of it. And those are those soft skills. I talked about this in a previous interview. Those are those soft skills that they're looking for that these employers are looking for. Public speaking, just broad awareness of how to share their own story, their own strengths. And you all in your leadership series and just hearing from other leaders, everyone that you all are bringing in during these cultural observations and doing this other programming, I think it's just like a huge opportunity for students that I would urge them when they get those emails and those text messages to check out.
Definitely. And what we would like to say is that we like to provide an experience for students. We have students who are coming from all walks of life. Some of our students have never ever left the confines of their community. When they're coming to Houston Community College, we are giving them an experience worldwide. We're allowing them to gain leadership skills, to interact with students they may have never interacted with. We always say that they learn about themselves in the process of engaging with student life. You may have an outlook on life one way, but you're talking to a student who is a part of the Performing Arts Club, and they have a different outlook, and they never thought to look at it that way. And they say, hey, that's a great idea. Or, hey, your opinion is really relevant. So it allows them to build themselves and to find out who they really are. It also allows them to connect with other students who they be able to network with to get them opportunities and internships and job leads. So it is about building a community here at HCC. We want to let them know that they don't just have to go home, go to work, and then go to class. No, you stop, you engage, you become a part of the college. You help us build that experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And you are by far one of our most passionate and longest serving student life coordinators. So hear it all in your voice. And I've heard from you often, like the experience that we're talking about, if we could just give like a real use case for students, you're helping students have their first travel experience outside of the city, their first time going to a professional conference. Y'all are taking students to the state capitol and interacting with legislators, like across the board, outside of what they see when they come to Welcome Week and post it up, and you got the music, you got the giveaways and all of that. Everything you're talking about is so much deeper, and those are the things that we expect them to, that's what you remember. If I think about my own college experience.
Yeah, that's the surface level. We get a little bit deeper than that. We want to go into those other layers. As you stated before, some of our students have never traveled outside of their neighborhood. So now we're taking students outside of the city, outside of the state, where they are actually their first plane ride, that they've never been on a plane, and we're taking them. We take students to the Capitol all the time. Our students never realized that they had such a strong voice. They just feel like, oh, I'm a student. A legislator is not going to listen to me. They're not going to take what I'm saying, and move it up the ladder. And when we took our students to Community College Day this past January, they realized how impactful their voice is, and they say, hey, it goes well beyond my community, well beyond the walls of HCC. It goes to the state. They're listening to what we need as a student, and especially as a community college student, because sometimes they feel like, I'm only at a community college, that's it. No, that trip allowed them to realize that they make a very, very impactful statement when they go to the Capitol and talk about what our students need at the community college level to move them into the world of work or to move them into a 4-year institution.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And they're, even that in of itself, they are serving their student body. And a lot of students come, right? They're looking for resume building opportunities. They're looking for something that they can put on scholarship applications, for service learning opportunities. And their first stop is usually student life because of the programming you all have set up.
Definitely. This is about building that resume. It's about building that scholarship essay to state that I interacted with students from all walks of life. That is a soft skill that I cannot just work with students who come from my walk of life or come from my area. I have interacted with students from different countries, different parts of the city, different states. And so that is that soft skill that they're gaining, that they know how to work with different personalities, that they know how to interact and problem solving, because everyone has their own way of doing something. But when they come together as a group, as a student organization, they come together with all their thoughts and ideas and are able to come together with one decision. And that thought process and that critical thinking and that decision-making skills, that goes a long way when they're moving into the world of work or into that 4-year institution.
Absolutely. Yeah. So many of our students come here with the intent to transfer. So, building out just holistically, I am growing in all these different areas of a student. Like, you don't realize you need it until you need it. Right.
I mean, just speaking to students who were leaders and are part of student life within organizations who moved on to 4-year institutions, they come back and say, hey, those skills that I learned being a part of a student organization really helped me when I transferred to that four-year institution, or if I moved on to my career in my major. They stated that those skills really did help them. That, and a lot of times we have students who come in and they're very shy. They're not out of their comfort level. And you talked about public speaking. We have students who were so shy and would not speak to students, and now they're saying, oh, it's easy. You need a student to come in your class and talk about a student organization. I am your girl, or I am your man. It builds that. It also builds just that confidence in them that, hey, we're putting in your hands the leadership skills. This is your organization. This is your student experience. You are going to assist in building that. We're not going to make it for you. You're going to help build it.
Absolutely. And, and that comes with all of our clubs. And I think students really don't even realize the full scope of how many, one of the most popular clubs you have at your campus is anime, but that's still leadership, right? You have the interest, you can build on how to build community marketing and all these other different skills. So for students who are wondering if there's a club for them, what would you tell them?
I'm going to tell you, we have clubs at all of our colleges, all 7 colleges. We have a club for you. We have anime, we have performing arts, we have chess, we have computer science, we have English, we have psychology, we have Future Business Leaders of America. We have an organization for you. But what I want to say is, if you don't see an organization that fits you, that doesn't speak to you, guess what? We can help you build it. We have the resources, we have the funds available to help you build that specific organization that you were looking for, that's going to make you feel like you are a part of our Houston Community College family. So what you need to do is you come and speak to your student life coordinators at one of the 6 locations. We have 6 student life coordinators, and we'll help you build that organization that you're looking for if you don't see one that you're already interested in.
All right. And if you are wondering where their office is, you are going to see them out at Welcome Week this week and next week. Be sure to stop by and talk to your student life offices. Thank you so much for joining us, Ashley.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Ashley Rhodes is our student life coordinator at HCC Northeast. We'll have info posted after the show, and you should also follow them at HCC Student Life on Instagram and across our Facebook platform. And make sure that you check out what is available and check those emails for upcoming program. We'll have info posted after the show. All right, Lana.
Yeah, let's move on to speaking with Alicia Acosta. She is the site director for the Fort Bend Museum. Welcome, Alicia.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
We have had other guests from your realm of venues, such as George Ranch, but rarely your actual museum site with the old historic homes. So let's begin with a description of Fort Bend Museum and what visitors can experience when they come to visit.
Sure. The Fort Bend Museum has actually been around for 50 plus years. We're owned and operated by a nonprofit organization, the Fort Bend History Association. But our site is in historic Richmond. We take up a full block with our exhibit gallery, which we just reopened in July of 2021. And something we're really proud of about that exhibit when we were kind of fabricating it, coming up with the concept of what this new exhibit would look like, was we wanted to make sure that it reflected the diverse perspectives of the people in the communities that make up the county today. Just seeing the waves of immigration that came through over the past 200 years reflected on our walls in our gallery space. And on top of that, making it interactive for families when they come through. So what are things that they can touch and smell and feel when they actually walk into our exhibit space? We also have 2 historic houses on our property that we give tours of. It's the 1855 Longsmith Cottage, which is kind of reflecting the 1860s, what was going on in Fort Bend County at that time. But on top of that, what family was living in that house at the time, and how did the family kind of make do in the house? What were the children doing at the time? So having that conversation about the 1860s into the 1870s, and how you kind of see that change go from the 1855 house into the 1883 house that they go into right after, which is the John and Lottie Moore home. And so having a conversation about, how did this this rancher become, a political figure, at the U.S. level as a congressman. And so those are the two houses that we give tours of throughout the week at 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. On Saturdays, we add a 10 a.m. tour time. But it's really a space because we have an outdoor courtyard, it's a space that the community can actually use. We have weddings out here, special events, 50th birthdays, 50th anniversaries. And it's become sort of like a space that the community can not only really kind of experience their family moments, but for us to use as an event space when we bring in the community for things that we have going on site. So.
It sounds very exciting. So when can folks come down to visit you all?
Yeah, so we're open Tuesday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And so that means that you're welcome to walk through the exhibit gallery space whenever you'd like. And then the historic house tours are at specific times throughout the day. So our school season is about to get really busy. And so whenever we have our schools come in the spring and the fall, our times sort of change a little bit. So there might be days where you might have a 1 o'clock tour. Sometimes that won't be there, and we'll only provide the 3 o'clock tour time. So I always suggest making sure you're checking out our website, because we try to keep up really our visitors informed about when there are actual tours available during the school season. And then Saturdays, you're always going to have it at 10 a.m., 1 p.m., and 3 p.m. So, and you're welcome to check that out on our website as well.
Right. So what are some of the exciting things in the works right now at the museum?
Well, the one I'm really excited about is our Hispanic Heritage Month event that's taking place on September 16th. One of our goals is always to become more accessible to our community. One of the really big goals that we've actually had big plans for a very long time that we've actually finally been able to get off the ground is to offer a digital Spanish translation of our exhibit gallery. We have such a huge Hispanic population in our area, and we recognize that we weren't able to reach quite a few of those families because we only had the English translation of our exhibit gallery. And so we were able to make that happen this year with the support of the Fort Bend Junior Service League and Union Pacific. So we'll be launching that on September 16th, the start of Hispanic Heritage Month that weekend. And it's really, an opportunity for families to kind of go through our exhibit digitally. And we wanted to make a really big celebration out of it. So we've kind of coined this event, Tiempo de Celebrar, because it really is a time to celebrate. And so we're inviting Latino food vendors to our space, doing demonstrations based off of some Hispanic traditions. We'll have Catapult Gallery, who's actually on our historic Morton Street. She just opened up a gallery in November, and she has a lot of Latino artists that she's going to be bringing in to display their art in our lobby space. And then we wanted to get the community to feel like we're telling their story when it comes to our Hispanic heritage in Fort Bend County. And so we're actually doing a community curated exhibit. So this was asking, families in our area, what is something that speaks to you and your heritage? And so they all decide what objects they want to put on display, or if it's, a piece of art, or it's, a textile, and they tell the story behind that one object. It's not us, giving that story to the community. They're telling that story themselves. And so that's going to be in our exhibit galleries on display for about 2 months. And then, of course, we'll have activities for families to do throughout the day. It is going to be a full day event, so from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. We'll end with a concert. So it's just going to be a whole lot of fun, performances and live music. And we really just want the public to come, because it is free to the public, and we really want them to be taking advantage of this time to really not just learn about Hispanic history here and the different cultures that we have here in the county that we want to celebrate, but also just really celebrating the launch of this Spanish translation.
Well, let's quickly get to what you have for fall. Let's start with October and move into November.
Sure. So one of our popular events, it's kind of grown over time, is our ghost tours of not just the Fort Bend Museum, but the historic Richmond area. And so every Friday and Saturday evening, we do these tours. You can check it out on our website, but we do just the Fort Bend Museum buildings on our property on Fridays. And then on Saturdays, we do a walking tour of the historic Morton Street, and then they end at our property. And those stories, they're the real stories that people have experienced over time here in Richmond and here on our property, whether it's docents that have volunteered over time or staff. And then we also kind of tie in that historical background behind those certain structures or areas, based on those events. So that's part of the October part of it.
We're running out of time. So quickly, November 9th, you have Bites and Brews. We'll have that information on our website after the show. So I want to thank you, Alicia Acosta, site director for the Fort Bend Museum. We'll have your info, like I said, in our post after the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. You have a great day.
Always good to know what's in your city, Lana. Great interview. You ever had someone that come into the city and they're saying, hey, what are we going to do? What is there to do in Houston? And you're like, I don't know.
There's always something to do in Houston. That's the amazing thing.
It is. I feel like a lot of stuff comes into Houston, so you have to check what's coming into Houston, and then you have to see what's in your city. So love our Thursday Family Fun Days, because it's always an opportunity to learn about that. But we're going to shift gears and close out with announcements. I'm going to kick things off with Donuts with the Deans that are happening across the district, but we're specifically highlighting our Northline campus that'll be having theirs on Monday, August 28th, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. at the Northline campus. Now the classes have begun. The Office of Student Life is hosting Donuts with the Deans so that they can connect with their support system. The deans are really there to help students navigate and figure out and remove barriers. So always a good opportunity to connect with the leaders on campus. Details will be posted after the show.
And coming up next week is the Black Men Boot Camp. It's for sales and customer relationship management, and it will be hosted virtually for entrepreneurs to share strategies to promote inclusivity, diversity, and equal opportunities. And that is Tuesday, October 29th through Zoom from 6 to 8 p.m. And you can check out our post after the show for registration information.
All right, there is an open call for drama students. The HCC Drama Department is seeking individuals to work on stage and backstage for its fall productions at Central, Southwest, and Northwest campuses. The open call is for all HCC students. No experience is necessary. It'll be happening 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. Tuesday, August 29th at our HCC Stafford Fine Arts Center in the Black Box Theater. Registration is not necessary. Check our post after the show for an email to get more info.
And faculty exhibition coming up by Amy Beth Wright. This is a solo exhibition that features the artworks of faculty members. And like I said, Amy Beth Wright will be featured. This is the only one of the faculty exhibitions now open around the HCC system. And that is through November 3rd at the HCC Stafford Fine Arts Gallery. So check out our post after the show for more info on this free event.
And August is Wellness Month, which is a great reminder as we kind of settle after the hustle and bustle of our students coming back on campus and all of the parents whose students are going back to school. And as August winds down, HCC wants us to remember to prioritize holistic well-being across all aspects of life by focusing on self-care, healthy habits, and overall wellness. Check your HCC email for HCC Talent and Learning Development to learn more ways. This is for our employees to learn more ways on how to focus on your wellness.
Yeah, and though classes began on Monday, fall registration is still opening. The classes, like I said, just started. We do have courses offered in person and online, and smaller sessions such as Second Start, which is coming up September 18th. And we have classes online anytime with no established class meeting times unless listed. Online on a schedule, which meeting time is set, and courses meet online. We have our hybrid lecture class, which meets partially face-to-face and partially virtually. In person, which is our traditional face-to-face courses with traditional meeting patterns, hybrid labs, which are our lab and studio courses. So to learn more about HCC programs, start dates, and options to cover costs, go to hccs.edu/apply.
All right, well, coming up, we will visit with HCC Journalism Department and the professor who's the advisor of our student newspaper, the Egalitarian. And for Film Friday, we'll welcome back the Aurora Picture Show. Thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Up to the Minute. We'll see you next time.